just spent like 4 hours clearing snow and the solar panels, but we want to get some other stuff done. It's like middle of February, and I want to start cutting some trees down for different reasons. I cut some trees down to feed the deer right now. Maple trees and whatever comes down, they eat the buds off the trees. It's a good time of year to do it. They're eating buds already, so putting some more stuff down on the ground that they can reach is good. Also, it'll make more food in the long run because it'll let more light down to the forest floor and smaller trees will start growing. And also, I'm going to do it in a strategic way. I'm dropping these bigger trees in areas that I want to kind of steer deer, make thicker corridors in my woods by letting the light in, cut the big trees down, and then it'll thicken up in those areas. I'll hinge cut the smaller trees in those areas, and then the deer will hopefully funnel through those areas feeling safe. We get the Kubota tractor with the winch, and we got the four-wheelers set up. And my wife's gonna come and help and film and pull me out if I cut myself with the chainsaw. I'm taking the tractor, so you're gonna have to drive the four-wheeler. That would be that seat. So that's the plan. To do is I have a swath of woods cut from one food plot over there to this food plot here to get the deer to travel through that area. Can't really tell right here, but there's a probably a 40 or 50 yard wide swath, which I do have to cut some more larger trees out to get more sunlight. You really have to get aggressive with how many trees you cut down, I've found, to get the regrowth back. With like certain species, right? So I think hard maples don't like the shade so much, so they need more sunlight down to the forest floor to start growing. So I do have to cut some more out. But anyway, I want to do the same thing here. So I picked a spot where there wasn't that many trees already, and this is the spot I picked. And also, there's a lot of smaller trees that once I get the bigger trees out, I can take the smaller trees and hinge cut them very easily and get more cover down on the ground. So once I get the larger trees out of here, I won't have to wait 8 years for little trees to grow up. I can drop these smaller trees that are still high enough and don't have any underbrush where you would see right through it. But once I cut them and hinge cut them, then it'll thicken it up right away this year. And they'll continue to grow because I'll get enough sunlight to the forest floor to do that, which is another thing. Depending on your species, like hard maples, you want to get a lot of sunlight down to these smaller hard maple trees to continue to have them grow. Better.
Those are old ones, or the only ones you have?
The only ones I have.
They look like cock-a-doodle-doo. Huh.
They look like shit?
Yeah, I just don't remember them being so...
Well, the mice kind of got at them. Oh my gosh.
How's that waistband going around?
I think I got it.
Got it? Lots of layers.
The mice got at it a bit.
I saw all the ladybugs shook out of them.
Yeah. All right. Where the hell's my hammer loop? I had a hammer loop on here.
Ask the mice.
How many are those all the chokers?
3 of them, yeah.
Yeah, so we need 2, and then we can grab those 2 logs over there. I cut them both in half, so if we choker them both on each end, they'll turn and come right toward us. Yeah. Why is it caught? Hold on a second. There.
Over
Here.
here, rope.
Hey. Grab with this. Otherwise it'll slide and you'll have to go back and get it. So we might as well choker these tiny little ones first.
Just this one.
No, there's one right here, the other end of it. Where the heck is it? Oh,
No?
it got hit. It's over there. Unfortunately, we got to piss around with those 2 little ones. So when you cut them in half like that, then you can grab them and they both pull from the middle, and you don't get caught up in any of the trees, and you can pull 2 at one time. Actually, we could put 3, but we can't do 4, so we got to come back anyway, so we might well
You
just...
want me to just put on one choker? Or
No,
what,
because
just
usually it slips and there's never a shortcut. Anyway, so I'm cutting out the canopy, and then smaller trees like this, all over this area, there's a lot of them, I'll be able to hinge cut, and all those tops will be right by the ground and create like a bunch of bushes pretty much. And they'll live if I cut enough of the canopy out and let the sun get to them, which is what I plan to do. So like next is this big tree. You can't hinge cut that, you're just gonna drop it, and then that'll open up that spot. And then I'll probably leave that tree there, which it's so hard to tell. Ash, I think that's an ash, and then that one is a basswood. I think I'm going to probably cut the basswood and leave the ash, and then I'm probably going to cut a bunch of these yellow birch. And then there's an oak tree right here that's leaning a lot, so I'll just cut that one as well. I don't like to cut oak trees because we don't have, I mean, they have acorns, but there are quite a few oak trees in this area, so cutting one of them isn't the end of the world. But anyway, and I want to make a swath all the way to that swamp over there. And then later on, my plan is to cut a swath along the swamp. So there will be a thick edge along the swamp, and that'll, hopefully the deer will follow that thickened edge. It's already an edge because of the swamp and the open woods, but then if I cut a bunch of canopy out, it'll thicken it up, and it'll even direct more movement along that area. And then if I have this movement coming in, now I have like an intersection point, and I could possibly put a tree stand right there. But only time will tell. But I'm trying to create movement from that side of the woods over to this swamp, a predictable movement. So now we got these tops down, and the deer can get all at the buds on all of those. So it's just putting food that's the deer already are eating, so it won't like upset their stomach. Like if I dumped 600 pounds of corn here, it'd be bad for them because they would just gorge on the corn, and that their bodies wouldn't be used to it, and could actually kill them. So the best thing to do is put down what they're already eating toward the ground. So a lot of buds on these trees, they love those hard maple buds. So I've done this before, works great. and we'll get some deer in here. I'll probably come here tomorrow. It's like a dinner bell, these chainsaws in the wintertime. They know what they mean because of the logging that goes on here. And they'll probably be in here tonight eating this.
Sun's coming out.
Providing food for the deer now, in the short term and the long term. Once this thickens up and I start hinge cutting, all those hinge cuts will be toward the ground where they can eat off of them. It'll provide cover for the deer. It helps me during hunting, predictable deer movements hopefully, and we're getting firewood. Then I'll come back in here in the spring and hinge cut this. Right now is what I want to concentrate on, just getting the big trees out of all the areas that I want to do because of the snow. The logs ride above all the dirt. They don't dig in, get all dirty. I can get some saw logs possibly, depending on what I cut down. Sometimes I use the cone that you saw me load up, that yellow cone. You put that on the end of the log and it rides right up over the snow for really long pulls or really big logs that you have to worry about. But now's the time to get the big trees out of the areas, and then I'll fine tune it with hinge cutting in the spring. We got this last one to drop right on the trail at the top, so we're just straightening it up. I can come in here with the grapple, grab those, and toss them to the side, get them in a pile.
The deer can get it.
Off the trail, the deer can get at it, and then we'll get this one toward the end of the trail, just like these, so I can come in at my leisure the day that we want to grab them and start bucking them up and splitting them and filling our wood shed. So, but I don't know, we got 4 trees down. You can see the hole it created right in there.
2 chokers. I don't have cable.
Okay.
There. Huh. Just like that, I guess. All right, I guess that's it. We're gonna quit. We gotta get back and walk the dogs. It's like 3:20. Gotta start walking the dogs around 4 to get that done before it gets dark. I'll get the hammer. So we ended up getting 1, 2, 3 trees cut. That's it. But we had to clear a bunch of snow this morning because it snowed last night. So you don't get much done in the wintertime. It gets dark at about 5:30 now. So
But we got some wood down and stuff. We got something accomplished every day. One thing accomplished every day is good.